we went through Book 2, Sutra 1. And if you remember, Book 2, Sutra 1 is... What is Book 2, Sutra 1? Who can quote that? I told you to memorize.
Something with the old.
Wrong.
No?
Accepting pain.
Thank you.
Purification.
We did that last week, the whole 1.5 hours. That's how much you heard, right? Accepting pain as help for purification. What else? Study spiritual books. And what else?
Surrender to the Supreme Being, yoga in practice.
Thank you. You got it. So this is yoga in practice. This is the practice. And why should you practice this? In the next sutra, you've all read it, it says because they minimize the obstacles. Now, do you remember we did the obstacles before? Disease, dullness. Who remembers? Let's go with it again. Disease, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, sexuality,
false perception, failure to attain firm ground,
sleeping from the ground.
Very good. You need to learn all this for your exam. And I want you to memorize it. There are 9 of them. Now, these obstacles that he lists there, disease, dullness, doubt, etc., are obstacles in your meditation. From meditation. These things stop you from meditating. So notice when you start getting shaky, he tells you the signs are you're going to get shaky. You're going to be trembling. Your breath is going to be rapid. Watch for those things. That is your sign that things are not going well. So find out what is not going well. Are you in disease? Are you in dullness? Are you in doubt? Are you in carelessness? Are you lazy? Well, I find that a big problem with most people. They get lazy to practice. They practice 1 week. Oh, I've done it enough. Oh my goodness. Comb your hair every day. Why can't you say hello to your spirit every day? Say good morning, you know? You're here with me. I'm spirit. I'm the one that doesn't die. Remember me? Hello? Remember me? I don't die. This dies, this dies, this dies. This body dies, this mind goes with the body, because the mind's always thinking about the body unless you're clever enough and train it from now, from this moment, you train your mind to not be always so bodily aware. That's non-attachment. That's why Master Shivananda said, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, immortal self, I am. Train, train, train. Insurance for when you die. When you're in your deathbed and your body's falling apart, you can say, you know what? I'm not this body. You've trained it. You're ready. You're ready. Oh, now I've spent so much time spending time with my spirit while I'm alive. You'll find it so easy to spend time with your spirit when you're in your deathbed. And the first thing you will think is, you will connect. You'll connect with either your mantra or your idea of Ishvara Pranidhanam, God, if it's Jesus, Buddha, whatever you want, doesn't matter. You will connect because why? All your life, every single day, you've been focusing on that. Every single day, till the mantra is automatic in you. So when you're really weak and can't do anything, guess what will play back? Haven't you heard many times when we chant here? I don't know if it's happened to you. Or you, when Narayani came, remember? Because we spent a long time doing some of the chants. When you chant and chant and chant, and then you leave the room. And then you go to your car. What do you hear in your head? The chant you like most. And it goes on, and it goes, and it goes. And even though you want to think something else, you can't. Because you're hearing that chant. So do you see how powerful it is? It's really very simple. It's nothing fancy or nothing occult or nothing dangerous. It's just basically simple teaching, simple learning. So this is why it's really important for you to memorize these sutras. Not for me, I know them by heart. So I know if I tremble a little like this, okay, even a little, something's wrong. Something is right away wrong. Is it my breathing? Is it my health? I look first. Is it physical? If it's not physical, something emotional. What is upset? What has gone through my mind? What is going in there that I'm not accepting? What is going on in me that I'm in denial? Because if I don't know it here, why is my hand doing this? I mean, something's happening in there. What am I stressed about? And you find out, oh, then you go, it's to do with this world. I don't need to suffer so much. Because this is only temporary. This world is so, why am I getting so attached to this emotion? Why am I getting so attached to this mind? Why am I silly? Why am I wasting my time? What do I want to do? A very short time in this body borrowed. Remember, it's borrowed. Remember, it's borrowed. It's not yours. It's a gift. It's your temples, your temples, your temple. So why don't I use better time and not shake? So what can I do to stop shaking? What cheers me up? What makes me laugh? What makes me happy? What elevates my mind? Do that right away. Right away. Don't wait. Because if you wait till the shaking gets like this and goes into your chakra system, then it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah, it takes a long time to get rid of it. You want to do it immediately. This is why I love the science, and this is why I love to share it with you. But no point to share it with you when you don't use it. So when you memorize it, and memorize it, I don't care about your exam results. Frankly, the real teacher is how you live your life. Whether you get a diploma or not doesn't mean a thing to me. But when you live it, when you find the peace, and then through you people find peace, then you've done me the biggest justice or biggest gift in the world. So memorize it. And I am going to be strict. The next time we meet, I am going to tell you, do you know this sutra? And I'm going to choose one person to embarrass you. You know why? So that you make sure you learn. And then you'll hate me for it, but no problem, so long as you learn it. But it is important for you, because then you know, recognize, fix. Right away, be your best doctor, be your best psychologist. Nobody can help you. Chandra spoke to me on the phone. Her husband's just been diagnosed with cancer, pancreas. And just recently, so everything's very quick. And then she goes on the phone, Nalanie, you're right. No doctor can help my husband. Nobody can help me. They say maybe this, and if this, and maybe that. But no natural.
No guarantees.
No natural doctor can help her too. Oh, pancreas, but difficult. So at the end, you're left with it.
Yeah.
The only thing you can use is this, and this, and this. As Jung calls it, conscious, subconscious, superconscious. And what will help you through it? Your conscious mind, your subconscious will bring out everything that you learn. So if you're fearful, you'll become fearful. If you've worked with your superconscious, which is your divine higher self, then that strength will come through past the fear. You'll still feel the fear, but it's stronger than your fear. And that's what she said to me on the phone. She said, I'm just making use, what did she say? She said, I'm so glad I had your example with Shanky, because I'm going to make use of my best time every minute with my husband. And we're just going to laugh. And we're just going to love each other. And they were running on Hyde Park on Saturday.
I spoke to her.
They were enjoying with their grandchildren.
Yeah.
And they were both we're going to make use of every single moment. If anything is going to heal him, it will be that love.
Yeah.
No medicine can heal. At that point, nothing can heal. That is the only hope we can get. So, love heals. So use your own love that you have in your own body, because, like I said in invoking the prayer, each soul has these gifts that are given to us. We have the good wolf and the bad wolf. You all know the story about the good wolf and the bad wolf. Who will win in the end? The one that's full of arrogance, anger, fear, guilt, worry, or the one that's full of goodness, compassion, love, and kindness? The one you feed them the most. So which one are you going to feed in your life? Feed that one that gives you the most peace. If anger gives you the most peace, then I guess you better feed anger. But I've never seen anybody really get happy with that. You can use it as a tool sometimes to shift consciousness. That's the only time anger should be used, to awaken something that is dead in you. Wake up. You know, like you tell a child, wake up, you gotta go to school. Wake up, life is too short. Wake, wake, wake. It's too late when you die. Wake up, enjoy some of this life that was given to us. Stop being so serious about watching everybody what for. You can never get the answer, what for. Why this one? Why that one? Why? I don't know. Who's going to answer you? Is God going to come down and answer you? Nobody will give you the answers in the end except you. You will understand your progress. Your soul will understand it. But if you have some knowledge, it will help you to understand many things in your life. And then with deep meditation, these sutras, you sit, you think about the sutras. Because you've memorized them, they'll come back to you when you need them. And then what happens? It will click, 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 click. Your consciousness will click. And all what they call your balance, we're going to be doing chakras this weekend on Saturday. Everything starts to rebalance again. Because you got help. Your grounding, your spiritual kundalini will help you. But be strong first, okay? So, accepting pain as help for purification, study of spiritual books, and surrender to the divine God or Ishvara Pranidhanam or energy, whatever you want to call it. Higher consciousness, surrender. Surrender, surrender. Because ultimately, do you have any control?
No.
And if you try to say, why me and control, I've done all these good things all my life, I've done this, why has this happened to me? It happens to everyone. Everybody has to die some way. You know? I just see it's part of life. Accept, 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 acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. This is what I have. Now, how can I use it to serve others? This is why Gurudev says, the dedicated ever enjoy supreme peace, live only to serve. Because at that point, your pain has no value if it can't serve somebody else. It only has value. It only has reason when it can be used as compassion to help somebody else or serve somebody else. Otherwise, there's no reason for you suffering. You might as well pack your bags and leave this earth. But when you understand that pain is there to help you purify, and then on top, use it to serve others, get that, your gift will come back 1,000-fold, 1,000-fold. Because at least you say, now I understand why I went through this pain. Look, I could guide Chandra, thank God, another person can find peace. Thank you. And I told her, thank my husband. So, you know, this is what we do in life. This is how we do it. Otherwise we cannot survive in this painful world. Because it is quite painful, would you say? But I would also say it's very joyful, wouldn't you say? They're good bits too, right? Yes. And whenever you think that is so bad, ask yourself, would you really prefer to die? And some people have answered me, yes, I prefer to die. I said, really? Okay, here's the knife. You want to kill yourself now? No, I'm not ready. You're not. You just think you are. You just think it's all mind stuff. You're not ready. You wouldn't be sitting here asking me for help if you're ready to die, because you know you're not ready. You know there's a lot you have to do. That's why you're sitting here. But you're thinking, I really want to commit suicide, want to die. Give them the knife. Many times I've said, Chico, get your knife. Would you like to do it right now? No, how can you say that? But it's interesting, the mind, how it fools us. Isn't it interesting? So this is why it's so important for you to memorize this for yourself. And then any problem comes, you can sort it out, you know? And of course, if you need help, there are always people around who will help you. If you are sincere and you're going through trouble, I promise you one thing. You need help, help will come. But you have to surrender and accept the pain. If you don't surrender and accept the pain, you are going to look for help in your own way. And you know that story about Shiva and Parvati I told you, right? Do you remember?
No,
Shall I tell it again? There's Lord Shiva and Parvati in the heavens, the god and the goddess. And there is this, there's two stories and they're both interfering in my mind. It's going 20 miles an hour. So let me tell you the one that I was going to tell you, but the other one's telling me to tell you this one, so I'll tell you this one. So there's this blind man walking along the road, and there's a big hole in front, and he's blind and he's walking and he's chanting Amba Shiva. Amba means mother, Amba Shiva. And Parvati goes to her husband, oh Lord Shiva, you're the Lord of all. You know, can you see this poor blind man? He's going to fall in the hole. Can't you just save him? And Lord Shiva goes, Parvati, I cannot save him. It's his karma. He's blind because of his karma. This lifetime he's going to work out all his karmas. I cannot interfere with the law. Oh, how can you say that, Lord Shiva? You are the Lord of all. And he goes, but you are the mother. You're Mother Nature. You're Mother Earth. You help him. He said, well, I cannot without your permission. He said, I'll give you permission. So he makes a deal with her. He said, I tell you what. He's chanting Amba Shiva, Amba Shiva. When he falls in the hole, if he calls Amba, you go down to earth and you save him right away. And if he calls Shiva, I'll go down right away to earth and save him. Is that a deal? Great deal. So they're both watching and he's walking. The blind man's walking. Amba Shiva, Amba Shiva. Puts his leg in the hole and he goes, ow! Are you out? No. Are you out? Okay, come over.
Let him drop.
Because the truth is, we all have to face our karmas. It's very realistic. It's very realistic. Sometimes in life you're going to fall. But because of his goodness, that just fulfills one karma, something good will come out of it, you know? Many times we feel like that, we just fall, right? We just fall, except to get out quickly. You know the autobiography in 5 chapters, I often tell it. You remember it?
No.
Okay, we tell it again and again and again so you remember it, okay? Chapter 1, I walk down the road. I see a big hole. I fall in the hole. I struggle, I scream, I shout. I take so long and I finally get out. I'm frustrated. Chapter 2, I walk down the street. There is a hole. I fall in the hole. I struggle, I scream. But guess what? This time, I come out a little faster. Chapter 3, I walk down the street with a hole. I fall in the hole. I get out of the hole. Chapter 4, I walk down the street with a hole. I walk around the hole. Chapter 5, I take a new street down. It's a process. Yeah. It's a really good one. It's anonymous. I don't know who wrote it, you know? But it's a really good one because that is actually the process of our own growth emotionally and spiritually. You know, many times people come to me when they have panic attacks, and I've worked with a lot of panic attacks, and they actually feel very much better very soon. And if they do all the practices that I give them a big prescription, life-changing. They do it, many of them, 90%, 100% of the ones that do it get better. Those that don't do it, don't get better. I've seen that over and over again. They go to medication. That's their choice. I'm not here to change anybody. Everybody has to make their own choice in life. So anyway, and that's what I tell them. I said, you feel very good, but don't be afraid. You might fall slipping from ground gauge. Sri Patanjali's taught me that, you know. You might get a day where you're feeling so good and suddenly you're going to feel, oh my God, I've got the panic again, all my hard work's gone to waste. I said, don't think that. This is normal. You just think, it's normal, this will pass. It's normal, this will pass. It's normal. Allow the fear to come up, allow it, sit down, take a few deep breaths. I got past it before, I'll get past it again. And once I've noticed that they accept that it might repeat, they're no longer frightened of it. Because there's always the fear. What if it happens again? What if it happens again? What if it happens again? It probably will, because it's a process. It's not overnight. It takes time. And then I say, then next time you won't get it so quickly. It'll be 6 months before you get it. Next time will be 1 year. Next time might be even 5 or 6 years. But by then you'll be so clever. You'll combat it. You will know what to do. 6 years you'll be an expert. And you'll just, panic attack comes, you go, oh, you're back here? Goodbye. You just will take another road. You'll immediately go somewhere else. You won't even give it energy. You won't even give it space in your mind to live there. But it takes years of practice to get there. So are you understanding this? So don't think just with a little practice, it's free forever. It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime's work. Never stop. Just carry on, but make it fun for yourself. Make it joyful. Make it joyful. Make it fun. Oh, I'm talking to my spirit this morning. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. Have some fun. Make it light. God is not about being rigid and angry. And if it is, I don't want to know you, God. That's what I tell God. But I've never known God to be like that, or the high energy to be like that. I think all that's in our own minds. We have troubled minds that like to paint everything so black. So, let's go to Sutra 2 then.
Yeah.
They help us minimize the obstacles and attain samadhi. Now,
Page
these...
83.
Thank you. Page 18. Yeah, page 83. Now we go to page 84. They help us to minimize the obstacles. Now these obstacles are karmic. Alright? What brings you back to life? The first obstacles, what prevents you from meditating, these obstacles are what brings you back to life. And haven't you noticed when you don't accept, things keep happening again and again and again? So you can see how deep this philosophy and psychology is. Man hasn't changed at all. It's really to get to the root of your problem. And the root is, ultimately, there is pain in this world. Learn to accept it. Don't fight it anymore. That's the root. If you don't accept it, you have to be reborn and reborn and reborn and reborn. But why do you suffer? Why is there pain? Only to help you grow. To become detached, a non-attachment to your mind and your body. That's all. Otherwise you'll be so attached. When it comes to time to die, I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to die. You start to panic. Because you're not. Because you're not detached yet. And then you lose your home or you lose your money, like so many people. In the credit crunch, how many people went with a gun and shot themselves or jumped off a cliff? Do you know how many people? So many people. You're in media, Hannah, you would know how many people. Because why? There's nothing, that's who they are. They're the money. They relate themselves to money, to belongings. So they have no more core. They don't know who they are anymore. It's very scary. So get yourself prepared. So here, in Sutra 3, Sri Patanjali tells us, again, these are the things that stop us from growing spiritually. It's ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, and clinging to bodily life. These are our obstacles. So first he gives us what we can do to minimize these obstacles. Ignorance. When you don't understand something, you're always fearful of it. Is it not true? When you don't understand death, you become fearful of it. Like a few weeks ago, I saw somebody who had a panic attack because somebody had passed away. Now this person never dealt with death. So she told me, straight, I think I've never dealt with death. And I'm getting older. So, I'm getting older. So how am I going to deal with my death? Into panic. Ignorance. So my answer to this person was, become friends with death. We're all going to die. All of us. Become friends. Become friends. And then when you start to teach them a little bit about the soul, about the spirit, about the mind, and it's knowledge that they can see, there's an example, I said, what happened when this person died, for example? What stayed behind? Said the body. I said, the person that you loved, where was that person? Where did it go? What left the body? And the person said, I think it's soul. I said, you've said that. I haven't. So by you saying soul, that means you have felt something has left the body. So now do you believe in soul or not? Because prior to that, that person said, I believe in nothing. You answered me soul. That means you do have a belief. So why are you resisting your belief? You're not convinced? Learn about it. And then you decide whether you believe it or not. It's up to you. I cannot do anything for you. So this person is very excited to learn about her soul. Interesting, right? How people work, how the mind works. So when you have knowledge, then many doors open for you. Then the next one, egoism. You know what happens when you're into your ego. I don't have to tell you, it's really quite painful. Ego is a trap, and it makes you angry, it makes you aggressive, pride, all these things come up. And ego is not a bad thing. We need ego to have a personality, because without an ego you won't be able to live in this world. But ego should be purified. It should be purified. So purify the ego. It's not saying, oh, I don't want my ego. No, then you will be like a clone. And she goes, like Coming to America. Did you see that movie? And where Eddie Murphy had his first wife. His father wanted him to marry this woman, right? And she would do anything for him. And he'd say, dance for me. She'd dance for me. Bark like a dog. And she'd go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want to marry a woman like that. There's no, you know. So you don't want to also take away your ego. That gives you no character, no spirit. Remember, you have been given your personality. I'd like to repeat this to you all over and over again. There is nobody in this entire world, with your eyes, with your nose, with your mouth, with your body, with your personality, nobody, with your smile, with your emotions, with your feeling. You are an original. Why do you think that is? Because God wanted to know God in through your personality, refined to its highest. Otherwise, why would you be an original? Why should we all be cloned perfectly? So egoism doesn't mean copycat. Egoism, truth is one past many, is to find your way to get to the spirit. There are many ways, many ways. This is why I love the yoga science. You choose the way you want. Like, for example, Beata loves Lord Jesus, but her vision of Lord Jesus is not the rigid, aesthetic, punish you. She couldn't understand that. That was for her too painful. That's not the Jesus she knows in her heart who she loves. She cannot accept that. So accepting that awful picture of Jesus made her life very, very uncomfortable. What did yoga, it's okay I say this, yeah? What did yoga do for her? Help her to find her redefinition of who she always knew who Lord Jesus was, which was the loving, kind, generous. She doesn't have to change from the religion. It's purify it, that's all. Do you see? To the purest form that gives you the most peace. Another person, I can't believe in a form or human being as God. And everybody's telling them they should believe in a human being or a human being, and they just can't. Well, tell me what, Nalanie, I feel most at peace when I see the ocean, when I see the mountains. For me, I say, you're God. What's wrong with that? What is the goal? Make peace, your God, right? Why do you have to worry so much about what people think? You can't, you're in stress because you want to believe the way everybody else is, but everybody in their body is made differently and their worship is different. I mean, that's the fun of it. That's the joy of living this world. Variety is the spice of life. And this divine creator, I think very clever, created everybody so different, molded each one so different, so specially. and one person in this world is not special. It's not true. That's ignorance. That is ignorant. That is egoism. Thinking that you're the only special one or you're not special enough. Both are ego. Oh, I'm not good enough. Rubbish. Why? Oh, I'm the best. Rubbish. Why? You're not the best, you're not the worst. You're who you are. Be who you are beautifully. Simple. That's the ego. Be who you are beautifully. Don't spend the rest of your life craving to be someone else. Bhagavad Gita. Better to do what is for you natural than to take on somebody else's dharma. So it's natural for you to dance, and in dance, show the spirit, be a dancer. Being a yoga teacher will kill you. Because that's not who you are. You may be a good yoga teacher, but your heart's in dance. Why would you take that away? Is that not art? Is that not art? He and art makes heart, said our Buddha. He and art. Why do you have to confine God to just a small space, or the spirit, or the energy, or consciousness, to a small box, just because we're confined? Worship can be any way you want. Purify it, that's all. So egoism, all right? Egoism. Attachment. Ooh, this is a big one. Everybody knows this one really well. I'm attached to my house, I'm attached to this, I'm attached to that, I'm attached to that. Well, here Sri Patanjali is not telling us to enjoy the things of the earth. You can enjoy something much more when you don't try to. It's mine. Because then there's fear. This is the attachment he's talking about. Fear. Because if you think it's yours, then the moment you're going to lose it, you're going to panic. Just remember, you're going to lose the most precious thing you have anyway, ultimately, which is your body. So don't worry about losing something else. This is going to be the hardest, the one you know the most, or if you don't know it, you're in trouble. But this is the one you know the most. That you're going to lose, so why are you going to worry about things? So much attachment. It brings fear, it brings guilt, it brings worry. Even attached to your emotions. Many people come to me with so much guilt. Oh, I did this in the past, and I did this, and I did that. And so, you just told me, in the past. How have you been for this 6 months? Oh, I've done this good deed. So, I'm not interested in your past. You just told me for 6 months you've done everything to be so good and so good. I'm so proud of you. Okay, it's gone. Can we change it? What's the point of going on and on? Forgive it, let it go. Forgive it, let it go. It's done. English saying, don't cry over spilt milk. Common sense. It's spilt. There's nothing you can do but put it back. You can't. What you can do is now. And I see people get stuck in their past. They get so stuck that they can't enjoy it. Oh, but no, you don't know. I don't care. We all progress. Allow yourself, compliment yourself when you are progressing. Thank God, look, I climbed this hurdle. Yes, go buy yourself a little gift. You deserve it. It's hard. You did it. Give yourself a pat on the shoulders. Give yourself a nice hug. Yes, you did it. It's such a deep emotional struggle. I did it. So many people have deep emotional struggles, and when they get through it, they're so like, yes. And I said, yes, say it loud and clear, so you don't forget how good it is to drop the fear, how wonderful it is to drop the guilt, how free you feel when you drop the worry. And offer yourself to Ishwara Pranidhana, to the divine will. It's freeing. Remember this feeling, because when you start to get attached again, if you remember Pratipakshabhavana, how good you felt, when you drop the attachment, you want to do it again and again and again. That's why set these reminders in your brain all the time. Once I told Gurudev, when it was my 25th wedding anniversary, I went to Hong Kong, and my mother and father believe in jewelry. You know, Indian girls have to have jewelry because it's your the way that you can support yourself. If your husband passes away, you always have jewelry. That's, you know, you can sell it or whatever. So my mother and father gave me this beautiful set, of which this is a ring, and isn't it incredible? It's one ring with two bands. My marriage with God and my marriage with my husband. So my 25th, and they gave me this, and a necklace and earrings, and I remember I was in Hong Kong. I was with Gurudev in Bali, then I took him to Singapore, and then he came to Hong Kong, stayed in my parents' house. So my mother said, you know, Gurudev, it's my daughter's anniversary, this 25th anniversary, we've bought this for her. Who better than you to bless it and put it on her? So he took out this beautiful velvet box, put the necklace on me, put the earring one by one slowly on me, and he put the ring, and I was like crying, right? And because I was so touched by the love that came through. And I said to him, thank you so much, Gurudev, for doing this for me. And he said, this is nothing. I wish I could have bought it myself for you and given you much, much more than this. Do you know, that moment for me was so beautiful that I put in I told him there and then, Gurudev, I am going to imprint this on my subconscious, because whenever I feel low or feel not good enough, I am going to remember your words, and I'll rewind the tape in my mind so that I never forget how much love you give me. And I do it. When I'm feeling a little like, I just do it. It's like I rewind the tape, and I say, God loves me so much, because Gurudev, for me, is my connection to the divine energy. Like Lord Jesus or Buddha is to many people, it's my connection. So I remember that, and I remember, 1 second, everything is gone. So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because if you can take your precious moments, you know, we're so good at hoarding our negative moments. I will request you to hoard your beautiful moments. Get used to doing that. So when you go through these difficult times of attachment and losing things that you love, you remember the beautiful moments. Is that okay? That's my advice to you. The next one is hatred or aversion. I prefer to use aversion. It's also a problem. I don't like this. I don't want this. It also keeps your heart closed, doesn't it? And this is why, in the beginning, in Kriya Yogis, it's accepting pain for help in purification. Because when you, I don't want, what is it most people don't want? Pain. Anything associated with pain. I don't want pain. So that I don't want pain when it comes. I don't want, how can I get rid of it? Oh God, you have to accept it. You know, you've all gone through it, right? You can't. You try and blame everybody. You try and point your fingers, but it's because of you. It's because of that. It's because of that. It will give you no peace. It will give you no peace. You can point as much as you want. You will see it will not give you peace. The only thing that will give you peace is accept it and know it will pass. That's all. Nothing else. Try. You'll break your head against the wall and you'll crack it open. End up in an asylum or mental home. You just can't. So acceptance. See how wise this psychology is? It's so wise. And then we've got clinging to bodily life. Exist even in the wise. Sri Patanjali will tell us later. When we come to this sutra later, you will see very, very difficult to lose your body. How many people are frightened of illness? I never knew so many people were. But you know, so many people are frightened of getting even sick. When I was told that once I was in another country with one of the yoga teachers and I was really sick, I used to get very sick a lot in those days. And I was very sick and I had to do a talk the following day. And I had high temperature, coughing non-stop. And she goes, Nalanie, how will you do the talk? I said, I'll just do it. I said, ever since I started this path, I can be burning up with fever the moment I go and talk. I'm fine for 1.5 hours, no fever, no cough. When I finish, it all comes back again. So it's happened so many times to me in the past. Thank God my health is much better now. So, so she was saying, oh, maybe you were going to die, and laughed. With a bit of asthma and a bit of wheezing. It's just that it's -8 degrees, and I'm not used to -8. I said, if I haven't died now, I don't think as I've been in my hospital bed 3 times dying. This is nothing. This is mild. She goes, aren't you scared? Aren't you this? I said, why are you asking me to be scared? I'm not. So my body is going through some process because it's not used, the lungs are not used to such cold weather. And then she goes, you know what? I'm really frightened of illness. I go, what? You really frightened? I said, good, then probably that's why I'm sick, to show you there's nothing to be scared of. I think God sent me here to get sick so you can learn. There's nothing to be scared of. And really the next day, I was really worse. And but I managed to go to the center, do the talk. We had about 70 people there. Do the talk and not cough once. And right after, I couldn't stop coughing. And when I got home, because I was flying out the next day, I didn't know how I was going to do the journey, but I just did the journey, coughing, coughing, coughing. I sat in a window seat, which I never do. I always sit in an aisle and just looked up so I don't disturb anybody. Got home, went straight to the doctor. But I'm just saying that, you know, these things happen in life. Some things, you know, just accept it. No big deal, so long as you don't get anybody else sick, it's okay. So when you learn to accept, there's no fear. So I told her, I said, you know, clinging to bodily life, I read the sutra to her, exists even in the wise, because she's very wise. She's a very, very wise lady, wonderful lady. And yet, fear of death was so clear in her mind. And she said, I really have to work with this. I said, yeah, because you have every other gift. And good it came out that you know that. So what do? Make friends with death. How do you do that? Read about it. Talk about it. Don't hide it away. Oh, we can't talk about death. It's taboo. Isn't it funny that death should be taboo? Don't you think it's strange? People say it's strange that I talk about death, and I think it's strange that people don't talk about death. I really find it odd. Why would they find it taboo? Why is it a scary subject? Why? It's one thing we all know. Isn't see what society and culture has done with the brain? It's the one thing we know for sure. How odd that people don't want to talk about the one thing we know for sure is going to happen. Really odd. But that's what it tells you. Even knowing, there's still fear. You still cling. So be aware of this. It just tells you, here are your obstacles. Know them. Now these are called your kleshas. Can you all say it? Kleshas. Okay, they're known as kleshas. Again, can you all read it with me? Ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, clinging to bodily life are your 5 obstacles. And will bring you back again and again to bodily life. Alright? Again, say it again. Repeat.
Ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, and clinging to bodily life are your 5 obstacles.
Again.
Ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, and clinging to bodily life are 5 obstacles.
Okay, just keep repeating tonight when you go home in the car. Some of you are 4 or 5 in a car. Do it with your friends. Keep doing it, keep doing it. So when you go home, you've already memorized it and you don't have to study so hard. Right? That's the way to study. Right now. Don't wait till you go home because you'll forget it. Do it in the car. Repeat the sutras in the car. By the time you get home, it's very easy to study. Don't talk rubbish. Use your time after satsang to make the information stay in. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And then later, when you have to study for your exam, oh, I already know it. What do I have to study? This is all easy. This is what you'll say. So easy.
Yes.
What is it? Yeah, ignorance, egoism, hatred, attachment, clinging to body life. Easy, 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 easy. Disease, dullness, doubt, kills us. You just know it all, you know. I just keep repeating, repeating, repeating. That's how we teach children. How many school teachers here?
Repeat.
Yeah, so you know, repetition is the best way. Repetition is the best. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And it'll be very easy for you in the end. So do we have time? Yes. Do you want to take a deep breath? Let's do a little meditation and then we're going to do the next sutra because it's a bit heavy duty. So,
Can I ask one question about tapas? I wasn't quite sure when I was reading about the physical, the
Yes.
worship, you know,
Yes.
the first one on the physical, the first worship. Could it be something like you do the good things with love to somebody, helping and supporting and doing? Could that be a worship?
for me, that if you do...
Not only sort of a worshipping whoever is your God, but could it be action in love,
For
with
me-
unconditional love for it?
For me, that's the highest form of worship.
Oh, good. That was my
Because you're
question.
going beyond concepts. You're seeing everybody as one. It is only when you see everybody as one that you love everybody as you love yourself. And when you worship everybody around you with love, it's the highest form of worship. And everything too. Animals included. Furniture included.
They have same
Cars
souls as
included.
different body, yeah.
Floor included. Pillow included. Watches included.
Yeah.
You do everything with love, with respect. Yes, for me, that's the highest form. People may tell you differently, but for me, that is the highest form of worship, is love all, serve all. Good question. So, what were we going to do?
Meditation.
You just sit with your spine erect. Sit on the blanket, it's warm. You sit on the cold floor, sounds of feet firm on the ground, both feet. If you can, either sit in chin mudra. Put your hands together and place your thumb. That will create the energy field, like this. Whatever is more comfortable. Join the energy circuit. Straighten the spine, keep it straight, but relax. Bring your shoulders back. Move your head from side to side to release the tension from your neck area. Take a slow, deep breath. Exhale very slowly and gently through your nostrils. Inhale again. Take a deep breath. Allowing your shoulders to drop as you exhale slowly. Allow your back to relax. Inhale again, feeling the joy of breathing. Breathing, filling your lungs, energy, energizing your cells. And as you exhale, just allow all the tension to leave your body. And we'll just be silent, but listen to the sound of the waves. entering every single cell in your body. Feel the vibrant energy entering your whole body, filling it with peace, joy, love and light. It's a very good time for self-healing. So if there's anything in your body that is not well, or in your mind, or with your emotions, send this breath to your emotions, mind, or body. Send it love, acceptance, peace. If you know anybody at this point that is going through a difficult time, please imagine a ray of light from your heart, beautiful ray of light from your heart, going into their heart, wishing them well. Always finish off with gratitude, thanks to the energy, to the source, to all that is. Shanti, 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 freaks out, just getting the energy now. Maybe even after I move, we still come here and build it up. I'm not moving in June. It's too much. I'm leaving it till September. No rush. Take my time better. Not rush. Then we can finish our TT nicely. Okay. Ready for the next section? We'll go back into meditation. You're very quiet today. It's nice. You're very quiet. It's nice to feel you quiet. It's really nice to feel the silence. There's nothing in the silence. So no echo. Except for bless all, love all. You fell asleep, Tony? Did you say?
No. Just because I had words with Sally and Dora, I took them away.
What did you tell them on the way? That you wanted to meditate?
No, but they're always disruptive.
This is Tony said that you and Sarah always disrupt him. He's teasing, of course. They're too good. There's no way you should know better. I'm teasing. I think they're great kids. Okay, let's go to the next one. Sutra 4. Ignorance is the field for the others mentioned after it, whether they be dormant, feeble, intercepted, or sustained. I know it sounds very confusing, but it's actually very simple. It just says ignorance you know, you won't get egoism, attachment, hatred, or clinging to bodily life if you weren't ignorant. That's all it means. Ignorance is the cause of all those things. So once you are not ignorant anymore, then guess what? Your ego, that's right. So knowledge is what's going to save you. But what kind of knowledge? Spiritual knowledge. So here, because he says ignorance is the field, because when you're ignorant, now he's going deeper into the word ignorant. You know, what does it really mean? There are different types of ignorance. And he's very clever. He tells you the different types or the different formations of ignorance. So he says, so I'd like you on your book, I've marked mine. I know we are told not to mark things, but I'm a student. And I marked mine, and number one, because if Gurudev has explained it so beautifully, I don't think I can do a better job than him. So here, number one, okay, we're going to cover what dormant means. Ignorance that is dormant. In a baby, we see an example of the first category. The baby's obstacles are completely dormant. When you see a baby, you feel how innocent he or she is. That seems to be so. But as the baby matures, her inborn disposition will emerge. She will not remain innocent. Ignorance and the other obstacles dormant in her mind will come to surface at the proper time. So, the first category of ignorance is when it's dormant. People don't even know, like a baby. You don't even know that you're ignorant. How many people in the world walk around and they don't even know? They don't even know. Then they have some hardship and suddenly they wake up like a child. They're like growing up. They're actually like babies. It's not their fault. That's why Lord Jesus said, Father in heaven, forgive them. They know not what they do. They're in ignorance. It's dormant. They don't know what they're doing. Lord Jesus understood it so fully, so completely. Forgive them. They really don't know. And then we will say, but they should know better. But sometimes people just don't. They're just in this, what I call the black cloud state. They're really in this cloud. They can't see beyond. And this ignorance is called dormant. And you see it in babies. Explained very, understood now? Is that easy to understand? Very clear, right? So ignorance is 4 kind of different types of ignorance. The second one, he explains, is feeble. The mind of an advanced yoga practitioner is an example of the second type, the feeble or attenuated stage. Such a person is not completely free of the kleshas, but they are there in his or her mind in very subtle trace form. They have sunk to the bottom of the mental lake and out of disuse have become very weak. So here he's saying that when you have a very advanced yogi, right? But very, very advanced, but at the same time, the kleshas, there's still a little bit of ignorance. There's still a little bit of egoism. There's still a little bit of that attachment. There's still a little bit of clinging to bodily life. But it's so feeble. It's so weak. Feeble means weak. It's so weak. It's still there, but it's so weak because the advanced yogi has worked on itself or himself or herself. So they become weak. They become feeble. That's another stage. They become feeble. So the more you practice, the more your kleshas will become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker because you're not using you're using no more egoism, attachment, hatred. You are now using love to heal the world. So the more you use love as a form of worship, all these things will go down to the very, very bottom. They're still there, but they're very weak. So you're not easily swayed, all right? You're not easily swayed, but you still have to watch out. And the third state is, the third state of intercepted development is seen in the mind of a beginning practitioner, those who have just started the practice of yoga. The obstacles are temporarily pushed down by the constant practice of virtuous qualities such as, underline this. This is what you have to practice. Love, truthfulness, discipline, cheerfulness. Did you see it? It didn't tell you that because you're spiritual you have to be miserable. It's right there. Cheerfulness. Be cheerful. Right there. So practice being cheerful. Practice smiling. Practice. You have to practice. Go look in the mirror. Do you have a long face? Are you always grumpy? Do you rarely smile? Then practice. Look at yourself. Look at how beautiful and handsome you look when you smile. Look at how oval you look when you've got a serious face. It's not nice. Then you always say, I don't know why this person is so unfriendly. Why complain about the other person? Look at your own face in the mirror first. They're unfriendly because you're not smiling. You're too scared to smile, so they don't smile back. So you start. Smile. Be cheerful. And then it's contagious. All right? So here it tells you the practice right here so clearly. If such a seeker, listen to this, is not careful to cultivate these qualities even for a few days, the obstacles will immediately come back. Did you hear it? Immediately. So this is in the mind of a beginning practitioner. That means you're not yet ready to let go of your practices. You know, you get very enthusiastic. And many people, when they first start the first year, they're very enthusiastic. Oh, I love it. I feel so good. I've never felt so good. They practice love, truthfulness, all this first year of Raj Yoga. Wow, everybody is practicing. Second year, reality hits. It's not that simple, folks, because guess what? Obstacles will keep coming to your life. That is life. This is life. We live in the world. In the world, there's pleasure and pain. In the world, there's war and peace. In the world, there's natural disasters. We live in this world. Yes?
So, could you say that by the practices that we learn in book 1, that's sort of the preparatory stage, and that leads us to become a yogi practitioner. But once we've achieved, once we've practiced the preparatory stage of the book 1, when we get to book 2 and we start really working, we become the beginning practitioner as we enter into this portion on practice.
Everything is practice. Book 1, book 2 is all practice. Now, what are you practicing? Really, the real practice starts in book 2, Sutra 28, not in book 1. Book 1 just outlines.
We jumped, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah, okay. Yama niyama.
Yeah.
That's, if you look at this, it's all like the
That's
10
why I'm
commandments.
confused, because
Yes.
we jumped.
Yes,
Okay.
we jump.
Yeah.
Because the real practices are in book 2, which will create all this. Love, goodness, generosity of spirit, all that is created. Now, if you don't even practice it for a few days, you fall. Obstacle. Haven't you noticed? When somebody, let's say you practice, you think you're very kind, you're very good, and then something negative happens to you. Why is it happening to me? And then for 4 or 5 days, you're negative. Haven't you noticed? You lost everything you gained, right? You really feel. So it's saying that notice that this happens. Notice. So when you see that you're falling, immediately start to do something good. Immediately start to be truthful. Why are you falling? Oh, you must have been lying. Notice. You will notice your own problems. You're not being truthful to yourself, or you're not being truthful to somebody else. Notice. It will tell you. If you just follow these few simple words, you haven't practiced discipline. Your discipline's gone out the window. For 1 year, you meditated every day. Now that you're feeling better, once in a while, you dropped your discipline. You dropped your cheerfulness. You dropped your truthfulness. So the obstacles will come back again. The fear will come back again. The attachment will come back again. Right? And this is called the intercepted state. keeps interrupting you. Till you build up a firm practice for a long
Time
without a break and with all your heart. It will keep happening. Obstacles will keep coming. So, sorry folks, it's lifelong work. But it gets so easy. When you memorize all this, it's part of you. You just live like that. Then you become the advanced yoga practitioner, where all these obstacles will be so feeble that you won't even bother with them. And then, after that, you'll reach total peace. And then nice, it tells you, don't worry, it comes in stages. I mean, just go back to 9 months ago. You were ignorant of all this philosophy, right? Yeah, in a short time, what you've learned. In a short time, how you've made changes in your own life. I think you've done brilliantly. If you just look, instead of constantly criticizing yourself, just look what's happened. How much awareness there is now. If there is so much in a short time, if you keep practicing keywords, keep practicing, what will you achieve in 10 years? To the key and intent practitioner.
Samadhi comes
very quickly. So it makes it so simple. It makes it so simple. Sri Patanjali is so clever. Just memorize these and keep it simple. Say, I want to be the advanced yogi. I don't want every time I stop for 4 days and fall apart again. It's tiring. Isn't it exhausting to fall into a dark hole over and over again? It's really tiring. So aren't you fed up with yourself? Get fed up with yourself. Say, I'm sick of this. And then you'll do something so different. You'll shock yourself. You'll do what the chapter 5, you'll take another road. You'll just walk another road. I had it enough. I'm taking the other road. Take the other road and you'll be happy again. So finally, we'll finish on this. The fourth type is seen in the case of average people. The kleshas constantly manifest. There are people who are just not on this path. And they'll constantly be in ignorance, in egoism, in attachment, in hatred, and clinging to bodily life. Every minute their minds are affected by obstructions. Every minute their mind is affected. They have no say over them because they are not exerting any force to control them. In other words, most people that walk around, the mind is controlling them. So they have no say in what's happening. So every minute there's a problem because they're working only from the mind. And I know that before I practiced yoga, that was the state of my mind. And I just think back and I go, oh my God, how did I live with me? Scary. How did I do that? I read some of my old diaries. That's why I tell you to keep your spiritual diaries. I read like from when I first started. The language doesn't even sound like me. So who's that stranger? The anger doesn't sound like me. So it really is good to keep your diary so you learn how you've grown. Yes?
Is it right in saying that when we are living in that state of ignorance, you're in ignorance, so nothing is bothering you? It's only when something happens that then the transition or something makes you realize, whether it's health or I don't know, rejection, or that you think, well, what am I doing wrong? And then you start, that's when the path gets difficult.
Yes.
To get, because when you're in the ignorance,
You're in bliss.
Yeah.
But it's a full sense.
But now that we are studying this, then there's no turning back.
There's no turning back.
No.
Where in the past you think, well, now we have a name, because yet the other, we may have been in bliss, but we were in ignorance.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A baby has to grow up. The soul has to grow up. This is why when people come to me with panic attacks, nowadays, people awake from ignorance through panic attacks. That's what I've learned. That's the common form in today's world. They suddenly panic. They suddenly realize they don't know what's going on with their lives. They just go to work, go home, watch TV, go to bed, go to work, and they suddenly at 45 or 50 they get this panic. They don't know why. They don't even know why. And that's the best thing that happened to you. Hello.
So
next
that's the
episode.
catalyst for them to...
Yeah, it's a catalyst. That's if they want it. Otherwise, many people end up with nowadays. So many people with antidepressants, and they just squash it off.
The possibility of coming out.
That's right. That's right. And they live like that, and they die. I mean, how many young people who are in yoga have told me that one parent or another has been so depressed that they die with antidepressants. Horrible, with no joy, with no peace. It's very sad to watch. I think for children it must be so hard to watch a parent go like that, because the children carry it whether they like it or not. So, I wish my mother and my father had some joy before they die. All they do is complain, because they're in total ignorance. And then the whole family is miserable. So it's not a good place to be, So it's temporary ignorance, and eventually ignorance doesn't
We all
work.
get the chance to...
Everybody gets the chance. Everybody gets the chance. Some people just don't want to exert because it's energy. What you are doing takes a lot of effort. To come here every Tuesday, especially these guys coming from Mijas, it's Kalahonda is so far, and coming is effort. It's effort. And an effort to get up in the morning early to do your practice. It's effort. But it's long-term effort. And it gives you, and it's also short-term. It's also short-term effort. Because everything you do to better yourself is now. It works in your life. Your life becomes better. More understanding, more openness, more truthfulness, more flow, more love. You're not scared to love. You're not scared to give. And that opens us up. Wow, it opens up us into flowers in God's garden. We become flowers. Instead of little bugs that are closed up and never give beauty and never give scent. We were born to give beauty, we were born to give scent. When we close us up, people don't benefit. For what use are we? What use is a rose if it doesn't give the scent and the beauty? What use is its life? It just dies. Nobody appreciates it. But a rose gives up its scent but it's at its most beautiful. After that it dies because it's given you its best. No need for it anymore. It's done its duty. It's done its job. It's done its job. And it progresses into becoming many, many seeds, going into becomes one, because the wind will blow and the pollen will go and there'll be more fields and there will be more flowers everywhere. From one it became many. Close, dies, it gives nothing. It gives nothing. It doesn't become one with the rest of the world. And this is really what that's the practice of yoga gives you the ability to exert control over this ignorance. And that's why you can change. And this is why the Gita says, just as fire burns fuel into ashes, a man or woman of knowledge will burn his or her karma. Because if you're in ignorance, you keep going into the wheel. Cause, effect, cause, effect. But if you have knowledge, you understand, if you do this action, you will have this effect. So what will you do? The mind will say, oh, I want to steal. And the knowledge will say, uh-oh, don't do that, because it'll come right back to you. So I'm not going to steal. I want to find another way out. It gives you that choice to take the other road. Chapter 5. Got it? So it's clear. Good questions. People are asking good questions. So this is seen in the average person. Now, this in the next, I think Gurudev really has explained this so well. By analyzing our minds, we can probably see, do I have completely dormant kleshas? Do traces remain but buried? Am I controlling them by the cultivation of good qualities? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. Look, when I was studying, I would ask. It was every day, ask. Find out, Don't just read the book and put it aside. Ask. Ask yourself. Or am I completely ruled by my thoughts? Here is an example of the different stages in operation. Imagine there is a nice performance at a nightclub. A friend is going and he invites you to come. Let's say you feel drawn to go, but finally you decide, I've seen hundreds of shows like that. What can I gain by another one? Now I'm going to Raj Yoga lecture instead. The obstacle is there, but you overpower it. That is the intercepted stage. You overpower the obstacle is there, but you overpower it. If you continue with such discipline, the obstacle will sink to the bottom. But since a trace will still be there, occasionally you'll be reminded of it. Why shouldn't I go to a club? A gentle trace will arise, but you will easily overpower it. No, I'm not going. It's just there to remind you, I'm still here. That is the feeble stage. In the case of average people, the moment a nightclub is thought of, both legs immediately go towards it, and people simply follow. From there, they probably go on to an adjoining bar, and so on and so on. In their case, the obstacles are sustained, and then go into drugs, into alcohol, into all those things, and then they're disturbed, and they're unhappy, and they come with a problem, and oh, I did this last night, I regret it, why didn't I was too drunk, I did da-da-da, I had this, and then it creates the wall of karma again. Now, if you can walk into a nightclub and maintain your strength, then no problem. There's no problem. If you're in control in your mind, most people aren't. Because they haven't developed it. And if you've developed your mind, you can walk anywhere. Walk in anywhere, the most dangerous places, and nothing will affect you. But if your mind is not strong, it will affect you. You will know when to stop. You have to know when to stop. You have to know your limitations. You have to know, this is it, finish, no more. If you don't know that, don't go. You cause yourself more headaches next day, you come crying. Here I go again, the vicious circle of cause and effect. Cause and effect, cause and effect, and then you get angry with yourself, and you don't like yourself, and you have low self-esteem, and then it's a horrible story, isn't it? So that's
So that is the change for many as well, to be in that wheel. And then
that's right.
we
They get
hear
tired.
our own complaints and then say, okay, well,
That's right. You get tired. Sometimes you're tired. How many people have said, how many nightclubs have, men and women, how many nightclubs have I been to? How many things have I done? I'm tired of it now. I just feel like staying home. Am I going to meet anybody at home? These are the single people, they tell me. Am I going to meet anybody if I stay at home? So probably you will not meet anybody if you stay at home, but there are other places you can go to. So
they can knock at your front door.
probably, if the person is meant for you, they will. You will find that person. You will.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. If the person is meant for you and you have those energy fields, it will be drawn. They will be drawn to them. There's a joy. There's a connection. There's a telepathic connection. If somebody is meant for you, they will come to you. But sometimes you interfere with it by wanting to control. When you want to control, this is the attachment. This is what is difficult for people to let go of, the attachment. Drop it. If you're meant to meet the person, you're just walking on the street, the person will bump into you and say, hi, and there you found the perfect person. You don't know. Yes.
Also, sometimes by not dealing with by staying in the ignorance of our own selves, we're blocking ourselves from contacting that person. We can put up literally a wall.
Of course. They won't come in your energy field. At least the type of person that you want. What you will attract when you have the wall is the wrong type of person. one who has a wall too. So you don't give, they won't give, and you come
We'll
cry.
keep you behind the wall.
That's That's why I always say, build your own character up first. I tell people, you've had bad relationships. Why? Because of attachment, because falling for the wrong people. Build your own strength. Build your own strength. Then whatever comes and goes is not a problem. It's not a problem. And you will know. You will know what to do. You'll know when to do it. It will be all God's will, not your will. God will guide you through all your relationships. There's a higher power, call it consciousness, because you're not working from a state of fear or possessiveness. So it's open. Whatever's meant for you will come to you. But when you have those barriers, then those kind of people will be attracted to those barriers. Will be the wrong one for you anyway. Why do you want that?
How do you,
more headaches?
sorry, how do you relate to this? Friend of my friend asked me today, she's been here on holiday 2 weeks, and I dropped them to the airport today, and she said, did you have a nice holiday? Yes, but I'm going home for nobody. I've been on this dating site, and while I've been here 2 weeks, I looked 1,000 men, and not one of them was right for me or wanted me. I got no date to go home. Where do I find one, she said to me. I said, but stop looking so hard.
Good girl.
Because she said, but how can, she said to me, you're always at home every evening. I can't stay at home. I said, because you're frightened of yourself. 1,000 men she has looked through the dating site within 2 weeks here, trying to find a date to go back home.
Dedication.
And only two
should discipline herself.
only two that replied. One was living in the caravan and one only was renting 1-bedroom flat, and she didn't know what any of them. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought,
Scary, isn't
come
it?
to the yoga class.
It's frightening what people do with their lives. It's an obsession. It's an obsession. And the more, Gurdjieff always used to say, and I always remember his words, he said, the more you chase something, the more it runs away from you.
Yeah.
It just runs. And if you stop chasing, phew, it wants you. And all of it will start coming to you. Because you know what? You're not too busy. Go away and they'll want to come to you. Because there's no clinging, no claws, right? But it's very, very... Do you know how many people
And
I meet
she's
that do that with their lives?
antidepressants all the time.
Yeah, because they can't be with themselves. I think
It's terrible.
painful way to live. I think it's painful. Yes.
It happened to me actually when I was young.
Are you the
Yes.
No, not that. No, not that kind of thing. But meaning like that, I was really hanging on the men that I'm like, doing everything. I didn't have many relationships, but those few that I had, I was like doing everything I could imagine just to keep him well. And then I just realized that more I was doing and loving, further they went. And then I realized that I really need to start loving myself first. I deserve better. And I was kind of young, but it has changed. Everything changed after that.
And then you've got a wonderful family.
Yes.
And you attracted the perfect
Yes,
man for you.
yes,
Because look how much in love you are.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. And it's of course now like this, but every time
Every
the peaks are
relationship.
like, it's like this. It's amazing, really.
Life is like this. Every relationship.
But,
Accept that.
but this thing that to learn to love myself was really, I was like, okay.
Wisdom.
That's the main thing, to love
Really?
ourselves. Huh?
Yes, first, really. I mean, who can love you if you don't love you?
Wonderful. I like to hear that more. Exactly. Who can love you when you don't love you? Why should anybody love you unconditionally if you don't love yourself unconditionally? Doesn't make sense, does it? They can't respect you.
It's in a very subtle form. I always remember when I first started Hatha, like at the end of the deep relaxation, they would say, and now hug yourself. And I used to think, hug yourself? Yes, it was, whoa.
Yeah.
But do I love myself enough to hug myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how many
It was
people...
very prominent there.
Absolutely. Do you know how many people I have seen on a private basis and never come to yoga and so low self-esteem that I tell them one of the affirmations actually is from Louise Hay. I love and approve of myself.
Just the way I am right now.
Yes, and do you know what? They can't say it.
Yes.
Oh, is it
I can't say it.
difficult to say?
You see, I have seen, I can't do it. Why can't we say I love and approve of myself? Nalanie, I don't believe it. I can't say it. I said, now you know what a dark place you're in.
Because you don't have these tools.
Yeah, why do you think I love Raj Yoga so much and spend my entire life talking? For someone who doesn't like talking.
That's why we come here, and it's not an effort because we love it too.
Because it really, you know, when you analyze like you're doing now, you really get to the bottom, the truth of what you are and who you are. Oh my God, I really need to do this. You have to ask yourself these questions. The psychologist will listen to you talk about your problems, right? That's what a psychologist does. They will listen and listen and listen. But what's happened at the end of the day? You have to analyze yourself.
But they always analyze only a past. They always talk about past. When you go to the shrink and psychologist, they go all the same past. This is why this is so refreshing, because you forget about the past. You're going now.
Correct.
Yeah, they're not talking about now. It's always the past.
But I'll tell you, there's a new group of psychologists now out, spiritual psychologists, and they are brilliant. I mean, if you read books like, for example, Louise Hay, I would call her a spiritual psychologist, right? And you read books like Susan Sheffer's Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And then, who is the other one? There's so many, Neil McDonald,
Chopra.
Katie, so many.
Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer is brilliant. I love his work. I just love his work. It's very pure to me. So there are so many people out there now teaching this new kind of psychology, which is really
This.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the basis of everything from Freud right up.
That's why I keep reading anything else.
yeah. You're a very good student. You're a very good student. You memorize and you memorize and you memorize, and you apply it in your life. You apply it in your life. You're a very good
They
student.
all books leads to this.
Yes.
They all do.
And this goes deep.
Deep.
Because the other books, you read it and there
Yeah.
was. I had read so many of the other stuff before, and I was sick and tired. And when Nalanie said, read this, I said, I'm fed up with reading positive things. It's just the same. But this goes deep. It goes to the...
Yeah. To the core.
Yes.
Core.
It's not
that
just
is
words
your-
saying think positive, do but cut the fear and do it anyway and
Yeah.
just
And
do
it starts
frightened.
from where you are, because you are
I have to
the
do that.
practitioner.
Yes.
Not just assuming everybody starts in the same way.
Yes, you are the practitioner. You ask yourself these questions. You, when you meditate, what happens? Initially, all the rubbish will come out. All the rubbish will come out. All your fears will come out. I didn't even know. All the ignorance that you possessed in your mind, in your body, you can see it now. Oh my God, I was really not very nice. I saw it this, but oh my God, did I really do that? Oh, shame. You know, you become aware. And when you become aware, you can fix it. You can fix it. Oh, I go home every day complaining. And I tell people, oh, I don't like you complaining. But look at myself. You know, you start to see a bigger picture. And you get to the core. When you see it, you can heal it. That's half the battle. Once you see it, like the other day, somebody came to see me and said, I know my problem in the past is I was always living in denial. And everybody used to say, you've got bad temper, and I used to go in the defensive. I said, you know what? You've recognized you were in denial, you recognize that you're bad tempered, now you can heal it, change your habits. So I gave her a list of habits to change. In 2 weeks, because she recognized it, everybody was already telling her, wow, what a difference. 2 weeks. And I said, no, don't stop. Otherwise obstacles will come back again. Yes.
Can I say one funny thing
Yes.
because of this kind of thing that, coming home, being, like when I was really like working a lot, so I remember in Finland I was coming home, I was really, really tired, and that was the only place where I had sort of like, I didn't have colleagues, I was just teaching and doing my work, and I came home and I was like throwing all the bad energy in the house. And then once my husband said to me that, sorry, I'm starting to be, I really need to tell you, but I'm starting nowadays look at the watch that when you're coming home, that at 1 hour before you come, I'm starting to like be really nervous. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And then we started. we were like, okay, let's do it again. So we started to do this thing, but when next time I came like this, and he said that, oh, sorry, you're so angry. Everything was so good at home. So okay. So I left the home. I went to the hallway of the house, like outdoors. I was breathing there a couple of times, and then in take 2. So I went like, ding dong, and I was, hello. And we've been doing this ever since. If morning starts with the bad energy, we go back to the bed and and we're laughing, and it's like, okay, now it's
working.
Yeah, it really works.
You see, that's when marriage and relationships can be so nice. Do you see? Yeah, because every relationship will have up and down. Because it's two human beings that are so different, right? No two can be. And that's the fun in it, right? That's the fun, that you are different. But that you can go back and admit, because egoism will prevent you from admitting, yes, I came home in a bad mood. No, I didn't. It's you. It's always blaming, right? Oh yeah, you're right. Let's do it again. Act 2, take 2. I know that. Can I use your story? Can I use your story?
Yes.
Wonderful. I love it. And that's the
I
healing.
was really admiring him because he had the guts to tell me this.
Yeah, most men will not say.
Because it was really starting to grow bad.
Yes. And most men don't say. Women, we're very, very expressive, but men don't say. And what happens? They suffer inwardly. They take our nonsense sometimes too much. And then they suffer inwardly. I've seen that. He's laughing. Am I right? And they take it inwardly. Because men's nature is like that. They've been trained for so many years not to communicate emotions.
By their mothers.
Yes.
Worldwide.
So, yes, worldwide.
It's cultural differences, but on the whole, men are taught not to show emotion. Yeah.
But now it's changing. It's changing. It's changing. Thank God it's changing. Thank God. Thank God. And thank God women are changing. Thank God we're all changing. Women also be suppressed and think it was okay to be beaten up and pulled and treated like a piece of dirt. No, it's not okay. Nobody should be treated like it. Everybody is divine. Nobody on this earth, male or female, deserves to be treated badly. We are all children of God, and I firmly believe that. And I think there's a lot of women out there, and I think we really need to get some strength. I was telling Celeste earlier on, we need to educate these women so that they find some joy. You see in some of these Eastern countries what is happening to women. They get kicked and battered and they're not allowed to say. And when they say, they're divorced and thrown out of the house and left to become a maid or whatever, even though they were princesses. It's not right. Things are not right. Our world is a little sick. We need to make it healthy. And the only way we can make it healthy is, he is saying, through knowledge. And that's why, isn't it incredible, Celeste, that you came in with the question of knowledge today, and all today was about knowledge. Isn't it not?
No.
Do you know, the first thing she asked me was about education and what is the point of education. And now, today, the whole subject was education. And I haven't seen you for so long. So you were meant to come today for this. And that's the way the gods work. When somebody is sincere and they have a question that is really sincere and deep, and so deep to find the core of yourself through that answer, the gods or life or energy will create it so that you will arrive at a place to get your answer because it's so sincere. So I know that the first question, that there is a deep churning in her to find the truth. Something to do with education or knowledge, what I don't know what, it was a deep thing inside her, and that's why she's come today. It's interesting when you see God's plan is perfect, isn't it? And then you see how clearly everyone is loved so much if you have the eyes to take it. And if you're not in ignorance, oh, today I'm going to do this, instead of doing that, like you said, instead of going to the nightclub, I'm going to do this. You know, tomorrow you may need, maybe you're too serious, and you may need to go dancing a little to become a little unserious. We don't know. And sometimes people are so like rigid. You know, that's the other extreme also. You know, so go have a bit of fun, laugh a little, have some fun. You know, good, clean fun is wonderful. Don't hurt anyone. There's nothing wrong with it. So that's the learning. So I'm glad that's the idea of this course. And if you can take that home, and you know, really, you won't need antidepressants in your life ever, ever. You know, ever. In fact, you go, I don't want anything to control me. I want to control my life. I remember when Shanky passed, everybody was like, do you want, are you kidding? I want to feel the pain. I want to go through this. Why would I want to dampen it and 10 months later suffer again when all these drugs are out of my system? Are you kidding? Let me face it now. Right away, do it and face it. No need running away. Healthily. And pain is normal. Pain is normal. You just have to, if I'm going through pain and I have so many people around me, you know, my compassion, you know, I kept saying to my daughter and my son all the time, how do people do it when they're not surrounded by love? You know, how do people do it? How do people, and then you see, you understand why people go into dark corners or withdraw. Because when they're in such deep, there's no love around them. And then, you know, your heart breaks for those people. So if you find those people, help them, serve them, love them, because they're in a state of ignorance. They do not have love around them. Because I really don't know how they do it. The pain is so tremendous. So you really learn, you know, God has given us sensitivity to make us so sensitive, to use it as compassion for purification. Compassion is the purification process. To develop it for others. Not to feel sorry for ourselves and get bitter and angry. You can, of course, if you want to go that direction. Nobody can stop you. But God bless you in your miserable life.
Another little story.
Okay, one story and then we'll finish because I know some people have to get going.
Just quickly. Just recently, I was a couple of days ago working with a client, a lady who came to me. I was showing her the houses, and then we just started talking. And she said her interesting story about her son. He was a sort of wunderkind. He was so clever. He never goes to the school. He done all the exams without even going to the school. So clever he was. And then he was in the university for a couple of years, and then he dropped it. And then her trouble began, she said, because of that she became so stressed, he didn't sleep. And so why you think it is a disaster? No, because he went to the spiritual sort of Tibet or Buddhism or something like that, and she doesn't really understand what. And he was so deep in that, and he lost his head, and he lost his job and everything, and studies. So, well, this is happiness. You have to be happy for him. He finds his way to his heart. This is fine, you have to be happy. No, that somebody needs to work. And I said, well, I'm not sleeping for 4 years. I'm so bad. I have so many pills. I said, listen, drop all your tablets. Start breathing. Do you know really what your son is doing? Learn what he's doing. Maybe he's not right. I mean, maybe he's right in something. Learn how. So instead of showing her house, I was showing her how to breathe. So she went away.
The estate agent who taught yoga.
I mean, incredible. I was giving her lectures how to breathe.
Did she listen?
Yeah, she went to learn.
Good, very good. See, now you know why you're an estate agent. You will get in touch with people who never learn to breathe.
Yeah, everybody's good.
Yeah, everybody will come to you now.
I want her to write a book called The Real Estate Agent Who Taught Me to Breathe.
A breathing one.
That's an original. So that's great, so funny. See, you never know where you can teach it. That's why people want to leave their jobs and go to yoga. You know, this is probably what she was talking about. Or leave their jobs and go to Buddhism or whatever tradition. I think, frankly, stay where you are and help. Anybody who needs it is going to come to you. If you're meant to move, nature will move you, life will move you. You don't worry about it. Stay where you are and you'll see what happens. You know, so long as you're sincere and you're practicing and you want to serve, love, give, meditate, purify, realize, so long as you're sincere, you can stay where you are, and then everything will come towards you. And life will shift around you. It's almost like this incredible power. You're sitting and everything is moving just for you. That's how you feel. And then you think, oh my God, God really loves me. Or divinity really loved me. Or cosmic conscious really loved me. How could I ever think I wasn't loved? And that's when you feel love for yourself. Not only for yourself, but you realize everybody has that love. Only people don't know how to receive it. That's all. So our job is to teach people how to receive that love. First, we teach ourselves. I think we should go. Can you hear the yawn? Close your eyes. It's very loud. Close your eyes quickly. Don't breathe.